Don't be confused. Confused.com, proud sponsors of Emmerdale.
Is that all you're taking? To us.
Judge, how soon can you get here?
Give me the scoop.
I tell them you're a bit like a detective.
I'm hugely more important.
Obviously.
It's weird, isn't it? Love and death bang right up against each other.
Murder in Provence. Streaming now on STV Player.
This week's Player Presents features a trio of strong female detectives who solve crime while dealing with their own personal lives. From the team behind Scott and Bailey, don't miss The Detail on Thursday at 9. Now, it's Good Morning Britain.
Good morning, Britain. Breaking news. A 9-year-old girl has been shot dead in Liverpool. Police were called to a house after reports an unknown man had fired a gun inside the property. The girl died later in hospital. A man and a woman also suffered gunshot wounds.
Turning up the heat, ministers hold crisis talks with energy firms. Surging gas prices mean inflation in the UK could exceed 18% next year.
That rate has been described as now entering the stratosphere. Pressure is growing on the government to sort out this worsening cost of living crisis. The Chancellor here in Downing Street and Nicola Sturgeon in Edinburgh will be holding separate meetings today with energy bosses to try and sort all this out.
Sewage on her hands. Liz Truss is accused of cutting funds intended to tackle water pollution.
Well, after a summer of sewage being pumped into our beautiful seas, were funding cuts by the wannabe Prime Minister partly to blame for all of this? And this morning there are also warnings about sewage in our shellfish.
And streets of shame. Rubbish piles up in Edinburgh as council leaders meet unions to prevent strikes by binmen spreading across Scotland.
Oh, it's horrible, but at the end of the day, it's horrible to live off the poverty wages that these folk are getting.
We are from Singapore and it's very clean and we're not used to seeing this.
I can see it putting a lot of people off for return visitors.
The unmistakable sound of being in demand. But what if you'd had enough of that group chat? Did you just leave? WhatsApp are introducing silent exits, but is it rude to leave without saying goodbye?
Well, first he was a spaceman, now he's definitely a somebody. After stealing the Eurovision show and performing for the Queen, Sam Ryder will be here live in the GMB studio to tell us about his new single and who he'd like to work with next.
A cloudy start to the day with outbreaks of rain, but warm in the south and warming up as we head through the next few days. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 23rd of August, 2022. Live from Television Centre in London, this is Good Morning Britain with Kate Garraway and Rob Grinder.
Good morning to you. Well, it is just gone 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme. But we are starting with some very sad breaking news. A 9-year-old girl has been shot dead at a house in Liverpool. 2 other people, a man and a woman, were also wounded in the attack.
Police have described the girl's death as truly shocking, and they're hunting an unknown male. In a separate incident, a woman was apparently stabbed to death in a pub car park 2 hours before the attack. Katie Rickett is there for us. Katie, look, it's another shocking crime. What more can you tell us about it as far as you know it so far?
Well, of course, it'll be a very sad morning for those waking up here on Kingsheath Avenue in Nottingham to hear about what's happened last night. Police were called here around 10 p.m. last night to reports of gunshots. They found a 9-year-old girl in a critical condition who was taken to